Expedient Devices, Chapter 2, Sutra. At that time, the world-honored one arose serenely from Samadhi and told Shariputra, "The wisdom of all the Buddhas is extremely profound and unlimited. The gateway to this wisdom is difficult to understand and difficult to enter. It cannot be known by any of the hearers or Pratyeka Buddhas. What is the reason? The Buddhas have in the past drawn near to countless hundreds of thousands of tens of thousands of millions of Buddhas, exhaustively practicing the unlimited dharmas of the way of those Buddhas. They are forging ahead with courage and vigor, and their names are known everywhere." Commentary. The previous prose and verse sections were an introduction to the sutra, setting forth the sutra's causes and conditions. Now that the causes and conditions have been related, we will proceed to explain the second chapter, which is called Chapter 2, Expedient Devices. A device is a method, and expedient means effective. This type of method is a provisional dharma, not a real one. It is a provisional device designed for temporary use. Real means that it is forever unchanging, forever usable. However, if you begin by speaking at the unchanging, the real Dharma, no one can understand it. That is why the Buddhas of the 10 directions artfully set forth expedient Dharma doors and bestow the provisional for the sake of the real. Later, they open the provisional to reveal the real. Bestowing the provisional for the sake of the real means that for the sake of realizing Buddhahood, the hearer and Pratyeka Buddha vehicles are taught. After that, the Bodhisattva vehicle is taught. The ultimate destination, however, is the Buddha vehicle. The Buddha vehicle is real. The hearer and Pratyeka Buddha vehicles are provisional, taught for the sake of realizing Buddhahood. Small vehicle Dharma is taught provisionally. Later, living beings are led to return to the great vehicle, the Buddha fruition. That is what it means by bestowing the provisional for the sake of the real. Next, let us consider what is meant by opening the provisional to reveal the real. At the very beginning, when the Buddha taught the hearers and Pratyeka Buddhas, he said, "This Dharma door is the very best. It is incomparable Dharma. Nothing can compare with it." The small vehicle pupil cultivated in accord and certified to the first, second, third, and fourth fruition of sagehood. They were satisfied with just a little. They thought that was what the Buddha Dharma was all about. They did not go forward or seek to advance. They stopped at a transformed city. The analogy of the transformed city will be discussed when we come to Chapter 7. Those of the two vehicles felt that they had expended considerable energy in their cultivation. They had practiced all kinds of ascetic practices in order to certify to the attainment of the sagely fruition. They didn't know that there was still the Buddha way to be realized. Above, they did not seek the Buddha way, and below, they did not teach and transform living beings. They were independent arhats. Having realized the Buddha way themselves, they paid no attention to whether other living beings realized it. For that reason, the Buddha began to open up the provisional Dharma. He said, "The doctrines I previously explained to you were not the utmost Dharma doors. Although you have certified to the sagely fruition, is not the ultimate position. You still have to return from the small and go towards the great. You must turn away from the small vehicle and go towards the great vehicle. You ought to walk the Bodhisattva path and cultivate the 6 paramitas and the 10,000 conducts, the dharmas of the great vehicle. Thus, the Buddha destroyed the provisional dharmas by making them obsolete, and he revealed the genuine doctrine. At that time, when this chapter was spoken, the world-honored one, the Buddha, the one honored by gods and humans, both in and beyond the world, arose serenely from Samadhi. Shakyamuni Buddha had entered the Samadhi of the station of limitless principles. Now he emerges from that concentration, and he does so serenely, which means peacefully and with self-mastery. He wasn't like those who, when finished meditating, immediately stretch out their painful legs and backs, roll their necks, and flex their shoulders. That's not being serene. It shows a lack of good manners. Besides, serene means calm, means feeling one's entire body to be comfortable. It means no pain in the legs or in the back. The Buddha arose from Samadhi, and he was just about the same as before he had entered it. He didn't notice that his legs were uncomfortable, and told Shariputra. He arose, and since no one asked him, the Buddha spoke without being requested to speak. Why did he speak to Shariputra? It was because among the assembly of hearers, Shariputra was foremost in wisdom. He was the most intelligent. Within the space of a single week, Shariputra had completely penetrated the entire storehouse of Dharma. While still inside his mother's womb, Shariputra won debates with his uncle. Shariputra's uncle was a great debater. He was an excellent speaker who possessed unobstructed eloquence. However, when Shariputra's mother was pregnant with Shariputra, she borrowed Shariputra's wisdom and used it to defeat her older brother. Shakyamuni Buddha now addressed Shariputra because he was so wise. Manju Sri Bodhisattva, who spoke previously, is foremost in real wisdom, the wisdom of the great vehicle, whereas Shariputra is foremost in the wisdom of the provisional teaching, the wisdom of the small vehicle. Shakyamuni Buddha now tells Shariputra, the wisdom of all the Buddhas is extremely profound and unlimited. It is extremely deep, it's bottomless, and so you cannot know how deep it is. It is unlimited because it cannot be reckoned. It is at once profound and unlimited. It's a kind of wisdom that is so high and so deep that it cannot be fathomed or known by reckoning. It cannot be known through analogy. That's what the wisdom of all the Buddhas is like. The gateway to this wisdom is difficult to understand and difficult to enter. Since the Buddha's wisdom is extremely profound and has no limit, how can one enter into it? How can one enter the wisdom of the Buddhas? The gate into the wisdom of Buddhas is hard to understand and to enter. It's not at all easy to be clear about it. It's difficult to certify to its attainment. It cannot be known by any of the hearers or Pratyeka Buddhas. The assembly of hearers and Pratyeka Buddhas cannot understand it. Hearers and Pratyeka Buddhas belong to the two vehicles. Those who are born when a Buddha is in the world and who cultivate the 12 causes and conditions are called those enlightened by conditions. Those who are born when no Buddha is in the world and who cultivate on their own, seeing the flowers bloom in the spring and the yellow leaves fall into the autumn. For these yellow leaves fall in the autumn and thus awaken to the way called Pratyeka Buddhas. Hearers cultivate the Dharma of the Four Truths and certify to the fruition. The Four Truths are the truth of suffering, the truth of origination, the truth of extinction, and the truth of the way. The hearers and practical Buddhas are the sages and of the small vehicle. Although they have certified to the fruitions of sagehood, they cannot know the Buddha's wisdom. They don't understand it. What is the reason? Why can't they understand it? The Buddhas have, in the past, drawn near to countless hundreds of thousands of tens of thousands of millions of Buddhas. The reason the Buddhas became Buddhas was because in the past they drew near to all the Buddhas. They presented them with offerings and paid them homage, exhaustively practicing the unlimited dharmas of the way of those Buddhas. They cultivate the way, they study the limitless dharmas of the way of all those millions of Buddhas. They cultivate according to the Buddha Dharma. It is not known how many Dharma doors they cultivate, a limitless, boundless number of them. So, now we study a little bit of Dharma and think that we understand it. We read a single book on Buddhism and think we know it all. That is to be too shameless. It is to take the Buddha Dharma too lightly as too simple. There are even those who have never studied sutras. That's just to insult the audience. They are unable to benefit themselves and even less able to lecture in such a method fashion that the more they talk, the less people understand. Some of them explain donkeys as horses, and others explain ghosts as people. They cannot explain the word ghost correctly, and they cannot even read the word person. Still, they go around lecturing. If you ask them a question, they might say, I never read that book, so I cannot comment on that. They may strike up a conversation with you, perhaps using lines from the Chen school. They say they understand, but they really do not. And so they end up telling you to go figure it out for yourself. You may wonder, if those of the two vehicles did not understand the great vehicle, how can common people understand it now? Those of the two vehicles went up step by step. Although we are common people, if we understand the doctrines of the great vehicle, we can immediately certify to the attainment of the fruit of the great vehicle. It's like studying. Some people begin in elementary school and work their way up through high school and on to the university. Others may not have been to school, but they associate with those in elementary school and high school and find their studies very simple. They understand them as soon as they hear them, and so they can go directly to the university to study. Although we are common people, our affinities are such that we get to hear the great vehicle Buddha Dharma in the beginning. Those of the two vehicles' affinities were such that they did not get to hear the great vehicle until the very end in the Dharma Flower Assembly. At that time, they turned away from the small vehicle and went towards the great vehicle Buddha Dharma. Now, we have an excellent chance to study the great vehicle Buddha Dharma and to understand it directly and quickly. They are forging ahead with courage and vigor, and their names are known everywhere. They were courageous. They continued to go forward, no matter how tired they were. Vigor means that they did not rest. Because of their courage and vigor, they were well known. They were not like a seeker of fame bodhisattva who went around seeking fame everywhere. They cultivated vigorously, and because they did not seek fame, fame came of itself. That is why their names were heard everywhere. Sutra. They have accomplished the most profound Dharma, one which has never been before, and speak of it according to what is appropriate, but its purport is difficult to understand. Commentary. They have accomplished the most profound Dharma, one which has never been before. They have realized the supreme profound Dharma. Such a Dharma has never before existed. No one had ever obtained it before, and speak of it according to what is appropriate. They speak the Dharma according to the being's potential. They bestow the teaching in accord with the people being taught. They speak the Dharma according to the individual's needs, like prescribing medicine for a specific illness. But its purport is difficult to understand. Although they speak the Dharma in accord with what is appropriate, still the wisdom of the Buddhas is extremely deep and unlimited. Its purport is not uneasy to understand. Shariputra. Sutra. Shariputra, from the time I realized Buddhahood, I have, by means of various causes and conditions and various analogies, extensively proclaimed the verbal teaching with countless expedient devices. I have guided living beings, leading them to separate from all attachments. Why is this? The third command has already perfected his expedient devices, his knowledge and vision, and the paramitas. Shariputra, the knowledge and vision of the third command is vast, great, profound, and far-reaching. He has profoundly entered without boundary the unlimited, the obstructors, the powers, the fearlessnesses, the dhyana concentrations, and the samadhis of liberation, accomplishing all those dharmas that never had before. Commentary. In the Dharma which the Buddha spoke, the wise see wisdom, and the human see humanness. The profound see profundity, and the superficial see superficiality. It is said, the Dharma is proclaimed with a single sound, and each gains understanding according to his guide. Although the Buddha spoke Dharma with a single sound, all living beings understood it. The humans understood it. The spirits understood it too. The ghosts, the bodhisattvas, the healers, and the conditioned enlightened ones all understood it. Each understood the doctrine on his own terms, and none understood it completely. That is why the text says its purport is difficult to understand. Some of them may have understood one aspect of its meaning, but not two aspects. Some may have understood two aspects, but not three. The Buddha spoke a single doctrine, but it included all of existence. Shariputra, Shakyamuni Buddha calls out again. From the time I realized Buddhahood, what time was that? It was one night when he was sitting beneath the Bodhi tree. He looked up to a bright star and was enlightened to the way. From that time until the present, I have, by means of various kinds of causes and conditions, I have used various kinds of causes and conditions, not just one kind, but many different kinds and various analogies. I have also used a limitless, countless number of analogies to explain the Buddha Dharma, extensively proclaimed the verbal teaching. Extensively means broadly. Proclaimed means that he expounded and elaborated upon the principles. The verbal teaching means that the Buddha went everywhere, lecturing on the sutras and speaking the Dharma, which countless expedient devices. It is not known how many expedients were used to teach and transform living beings. It is said, with the good and clever expedients, he saves living beings. He turns the dust of the world into the Buddha's work. The Buddha uses ingenious methods to save all living beings. Ordinary things are turned into the Buddha's work, while in the dust of the world, one cultivates and transcends the dust. I have guided living beings, leading them to separate from all attachments. I have used many expedient devices to guide living beings. Guide means to induce. In Confucianism, they say, in an orderly fashion, one well induces. If you want to be a teacher, you must have a method to teach your students. If you have no method, the students will run away from you. They'll be afraid of you. If you have a method, then this student will want to study with you, and that student will want to study with you. All of them will like to study under you. If you have no teaching plan, however, they will sign up for your course today and drop out tomorrow. Teachers who know how to teach can bring in students from long distances and may have hundreds of students signed up for their classes. Other teachers who are less skilled may start out with 100, and the following day 80 will be left. The next day 60 will remain, and on the fourth day only 40. By the eighth day they will be totally alone. They may want to teach, but no one wants to learn from them. Why not? Because they do not know how to teach. If they did, they would say, "Work hard, I am going to give you a test, so you should pay special attention. If you're not lazy, I will pass you whether or not your grades are good. I may give you a B or an A, but no one will get a C. If you do not study well, however, you won't even get a D." Hearing this, the students think, "He certainly gave me a B or an A," so they work hard. The Buddha Dharma was the same way. The Buddha is a good teacher. He uses all manner of Dharma laws, saying, "Study the Four Truths. If you study them, you can certify to the sagely fruit, to the first fruit of arhatship, or to the second, third, or even to the fourth fruit. If you cultivate the Dharma of the 12 causes and conditions, you can certify to the position of a conditioned enlightened one." After that, he turns them from the small towards the great and tells them, "In the future, you can all become Buddhas, but first you've got to practice the Bodhisattva way. You must first cultivate the 6 perfections and the 10,000 conducts." When those of the 2 vehicles hear this, they think, "So there was a Bodhisattva vehicle all the time," and they set the small vehicle aside to practice the great vehicle Dharma. If the Dharma had started out saying, "You should cultivate the great vehicle Dharma and not first taught them the lesser vehicles," they would have thought, "In the great vehicle you're supposed to give. How can I give my things away? That's just not fair. I'm simply not going to do it." If someone has just begun to study the Dharma and not yet obtained the slightest advantage, you cannot tell them that they have to give the moment they walk in the door. For example, if someone comes to listen to a lecture and you start talking to him before they have even crossed the threshold, saying, "Do you want to listen to the sutra? Give me $100. They are going to think, "Oh, what's this all about? $100? And off they will run. They do not get to hear the sutra lecture. They do not give $100, and you do not get any offerings. But after they have heard the sutra lectures for a while, they will come to understand that in order to practice the Bodhisattva way, it is necessary to give. Then they may give 100 or even $10,000, a lot more than the original 100. When they understand, they will give. If you tell them to give before they understand the principle, it will be harder for them than cutting off a piece of their own flesh. Even if it is very obvious that they should give, you cannot just tell them to give when they do not understand the Buddha Dharma. Since the Buddha understood this Dharma law, he first told them to study the Dharmas of the 2 vehicles. "Just do your own cultivation," he said. "No suffering, cut off origination, long for extinction, and cultivate the way. Cultivate that and certify to the fruit."